everybody knows, well established, we had this 2022 thing and the crash that has happened. You know, the condo thing happened and then everything kind of settled out and you're like, oh, detached, not so bad.
Right.
Now we're seeing like this massive actual decline. And why I think it's like phase 2 is the detached homes are starting to really suffer.
Yep.
Welcome to the Tom Storey Show with Steve Karrasch and Tom Storey, where we discuss everything real estate or whatever else is on our
I
minds.
can't put that part in because you can't swear so early on.
Welcome back to the Tom Storey Show. This is episode 187, and welcome to my car. Just so you know, I'm hands-free. There's no mic set up to us. It's just the dash cam.
Thanks for letting me sit in the front seat instead of the
Yeah, normally I put Steve in the back seat, but
five-point harness.
he gets to ride shotgun today. Of course. Let's see this.
Welcome. I gotta take Okay, we'll be right back. Welcome to Life with a Realtor.
A few moments later.
Turn this down.
No, we're back. We're good. We're good. So that was a positive call.
Yeah.
All this doom and gloom in the market, and it looks like you might be going into multiple offers on a condo.
It looks like that's going to happen on our listing, which is actually kind of funny because there was a similar unit that sold recently for a price that was a lot lower than the last one, where it was like identical floor plan, kind of hard to argue the value because it's like it just happened a month ago.
Yeah.
But even like, I mean, you just heard the conversation. This other agent was like, yours, it should be worth more.
From what I heard from that conversation, the buyer wants the unit.
Yes. And we already have an offer. This could be offer number 2.
Yeah, totally. So that's pretty. It can't be as doom and gloom as it was. So in your estimation, then, do you think like this is a thing where you've maybe underpriced this listing?
No.
Not at all.
No, because funny enough, I actually sold the exact same floor plan 2 floors lower earlier this year.
Yeah.
And that one took longer. Like for me to sell that one took about 65 days on the market and 2 price adjustments.
Mm-hmm. This was just fresh on the market.
This has been on the market for like 3 days.
Oh, wow.
So I think that one established value, but then the one that sold lower, even like I took a look at that one because I was like, I feel like that one went a little bit lower than it should have. And it said in the real estate remarks, like it literally said seller is motivated.
Okay.
Which buyers don't care that for the next
So
one.
the difference between what you sold, a little bit of time, and the motivation, what's like the delta on that? Like $100,000?
No. It was the difference from the last one was to the one that sold was $30,000.
Oh, okay.
But it happened right after, and there shouldn't have been a $30,000 price drop.
Yeah.
Right after, I think it
So
showed
the motivated seller delta in Toronto right now is $30,000 maximum.
Well, no, I mean it's a percentage thing, right? It's not a maximum dollar amount, but I was kind of surprised. Even like, I mean, you were with me this morning when I called the seller to let them know that we had an offer, and I know you couldn't hear the other side of the conversation, but she's like, I didn't think we'd have one at this point.
Yeah.
Now, this is a 2-bedroom condo. It's not a junior 1-bed, right? It's a good floor plan. It's on a high floor. You've got a view of the water. It's got parking. Like it's a good unit in an established building that there's investors in there, but it's mostly end users.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy.
We did that too. I listed something where I was like, man, this could really come down. Or we're the best priced thing.
Yeah.
And we were one day on the market and got a very respectable offer, got it all negotiated. And I'm waiting actually today, before we're recording this, I'm waiting to see a subject mobile dumpster. So it looks positive. So it's just one of those things where it's like, man, I could see some of the other competition sitting on the market for like 30, 60 days. But I will tell you, this particular seller did a ton of work in order to get this place saleable. And it was the best thing available at the time.
We actually waited an additional week to get ours on the market, even though we felt like, time is not your friend in a declining market.
Yeah.
But just because like the stager can only come in that week and there wasn't a major overhaul, but we did enough that I just think it shows really well. And weirdly, the offer we currently have that's valid till midnight tonight, we'll see if more come in.
Yeah.
It's an investor.
Huh.
It's
pretty fun.
I could count on less than
These little small town Ontario things are kind of fun. Yeah, I won't tell you what it is.
Should we tell people where we're going though? We're driving to a conference.
It's a beautiful,
And Steve's not in Toronto very often.
beautiful Vaughan.
We're not in Vaughan right now.
No, we're heading to beautiful.
We're heading to beautiful Vaughan, which I think is such a bummer for people that
have not seen downtown Toronto. Just
that are flying in for the conference, and it's branded as like a Toronto conference, and then they're like, where am I? Here am I?
why is the tallest thing here the power lines? Beautiful Vaughan. So here's what I wanted to talk about here today, because I feel like everybody knows, well established, we had this 2022 thing and the crash that has happened.
Yeah.
And then from let's call it March 23 until now,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've had this kind of
Yeah.
bumpy, kind of like up a little
But it's
down.
not going down though. At least for our market.
Well, now it's going down though,
Yeah.
right? So like now I feel like we've entered like phase 2 of like the real estate collapse, if you're going to call it that, right? Like we went through the peak and the foam came off and then we kind of leveled out. But now we're looking at prices that are lower. In my marketplace, some of the condos are arguably 2017 prices.
Yeah, we're selling condos at 2018 prices right now.
And so I think where I'm picking up on it now is being really effective. Is we all kind of saw that happen and it's continuing to happen. I hope that was my eggs that fell over in the back. My lunch is in the back.
By the way, this guy did hard-boiled eggs and wanted to eat them in the car today. It's going to stink in here.
I'm going to be eating them later, not on camera.
Ugh.
It's fine. But now we're seeing like this massive actual decline. And why I think it's like phase 2 is the detached homes are starting to really suffer.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So I think you had this too in Toronto, where it was like you had this like, the condo thing happened and then everything kind of settled out and you're like, oh, detached, not so bad.
Right.
And now, but maybe that's what's okay.
I don't know, like, we've said this probably a million times on this podcast, but like every market across Canada is so different.
Yeah.
So it's like what you're experiencing on your day-to-day is so much different than what I'm seeing on my day-to-day, where it's like detached homes in the city of Toronto. And there's, because of the way that our board brands it and when they put out the numbers to like, last month, I think it was like the most amount of listings we've ever had on the market at once at the end of October.
We also expanded our cohort by 35%.
Right. But it was 7 different areas. City of Toronto makes up less than usually about 30 to 35% of the total numbers that you're looking at in those charts that are put out, that are reported on the news, but it's branded as like Toronto area. But it's like, it's not Toronto area. It's Toronto and then York region and then Durham and then Peel and Simcoe County and all put together. So I really think it is market by market, where it's like our detached inventory at the end of last month was like 3.5.
Really?
We dropped again. Yeah, that doesn't mean that
price is coming down if it's a 3.5.
Well, I think prices are coming down because the sellers that are going to the market that are successfully selling are realistic with today's prices. And then it's a combination of, you are seeing more sales happen now than previously, but then also everyone that couldn't get their high price is off the market.
Do you think they've come off?
Well, I know for a fact a lot of them have. And you're seeing with condos as well. It's not just detached.
The markets are different. So just before I came out to Toronto, Ontario, wherever I am right now. Oh, are those sheep or are those cows?
Those are sheep.
Sheep? Interesting. They don't have a lot of sheep.
We're in the middle of nowhere.
So before I came out, I was showing properties, but I was showing properties to a client in the Vancouver board area.
Okay.
And the Vancouver board and the Fraser Valley board have historically very different cultures. There's lots of crossover, but the culture of how real estate is done is different. So
with a listing agent there for every show.
The biggest difference is a member of the team, a listing agent, is there for the showing.
Yeah.
And there's reasons like we have lockbox fights back and forth. So historically, the Fraser Valley uses lockbox.
Yeah.
And because the Vancouver agents, there were so many more of them, the thing that they did in order to win the listing or show value is promise to show the property in person.
Right.
Because it's hard for us to show what we do, right? So they're going out to these sellers. Don't worry. I'll show it in person. So that's become the culture. They don't use lockboxes, right? They come to Surrey. They want us to show the property. They don't even get the app that costs like $100 a year to show the...
But it's not even them, right? They're saying their assistants?
No, it's them.
It's the listing agent every time letting you in? Was I know no Superdino hire someone to do that?
It depends. No, it's sometimes a team member. It has to be. It doesn't have to be a licensee.
Oh,
But if it is not a licensee, literally they have to shut their mouth and open the door and secure the
so
property.
what's the point?
Right? So there's no point. So usually they're a licensee. But let me tell you what's gone on out there. And I would love people, since people are listening in on our bitch fest conversation that we're going to have in the car. This is more like a real conversation that we have. I would love to know, like, do you think your agent needs to be there to open the door to show the property? Because I think that's our worst level of value. But not only that, like, to open a door.
Yep.
That being said, there's some agents that can't figure out lockboxes too. So I understand it. But to open the door is not value. Negotiation, marketing, all that stuff is the value of what we do. Writing an enforceable contract, all those things. Except I go to show these properties and they're there.
Are they helpful? Are your clients like want to get in and out quicker because they don't want someone like what if I'm trying to go to a clothing store and buy something? It's like when I need someone, I'll ask for your help. But if they're just watching me the whole time, I'm like, I want to get the hell out of here.
Yeah. So I think the thing is, like, you want to be there to represent the property. I get that. Yeah. So when I have to do that, when a client asks specifically for that, and it's a feasible thing to do, there's so many layers to this. I will go open the property, I'll let them in, and then I'll step outside. Nothing will unsell a property faster than the listing agent being within earshot of me and my buyer. First of all, you're not, even if they like it, my buyers pack up and they're like, they don't want to say anything because the negotiation, if they can't be like, holy shit, Tom, this is the one.
Yeah.
They're not doing that. They are if the agent isn't there.
We literally will tell clients too, like, even though that's not a thing normally in Toronto, when you step outside, they always want to talk. I'm like, we will move away from the ring camera. Do not say a word. Because I'm aware too, with my sellers, they're like, this person got here 10 minutes late. I'm like, how'd you know that? They're like, ring camera.
So I got a feedback for one, and it was actually my clients. They went to see the property twice, and twice in a row, this particular agent had their assistant there.
Yeah.
And I just sent the back to the listing. Like, she not only was in the property with us,
Trying to say.
she was, hovering.
Yeah, which is the worst part.
Which is like every room we walked into. At one point, it was a detached property. So my clients went to the back of the property and they were looking at the fence line and everything. I just gave them their space, right? Like the husband and wife talking. She walked up beside them and I'm like, dude, follow my lead here. Like they like this property. Get out of their way. And but here's the biggest kicker with the lockbox thing. What Vancouver agents, they say as a benefit is that they're going to show in person to make sure the property is secure.
Sure.
And to sell the property. What they don't tell their clients is how often they reject showings because they're booked doing something else. So they get a quarter of the amount of showings because they don't have the ability to be in two places at once.
So I've thought about this a lot, and I actually recently listed a property here in Toronto with where the seller was living in Vancouver and was like, you're going to be at every showing, right? I'm like, oh no. Like, so, but I thought about this from the different angles. I think initially it's being used as a marketing tool to, you should hire me
because I'm going to do this for you.
Okay. So that makes sense, right? I think from the seller's perspective, like I understand.
Trying to differentiate yourself from the competition, even though everybody in Vancouver does it.
Sure. So that's probably number one. Now, number two, it used to be a lot more common that with properties, you would get calls from your sign, people would reach out from the internet that weren't represented. And in your market, you guys used to be able to represent both sides.
Yeah.
Where if that's the case, it's like, yeah, of course I'm going to show it to the potential buyer to help them.
Member of the public.
To a member of the public to sell your property because that's my job, right? But then it's like everything that we do, everything we've always focused on is how can we put you in a position to get the most amount of private viewings booked as possible? Because offers come from private viewings. Sure, will they maybe go to the open house as well? But if they're serious, they're going to book a private viewing. So everything leading up to it, I think, is really good. But then if they're there, and listen, if we're talking like luxury high-end stuff and you have to be there for security purposes because they have
but it's still $1,000 space.
cases.
Your listing agent hovering over top of me trying to sell my buyer into a property is the number one thing that will kick them out the door.
So I agree. I think the idea of it sounds nice. And I think maybe there's like a few things you want to point out so that they can't see on their own or their agent would be aware of.
Yeah.
But I think generally it just makes the experience for the buyer worse because it's the same idea. Like if I walk into a BMW dealership, is the guy going to be like, actually, you should go check out the Mercedes across the road? Suddenly, that agent is there for one purpose, that is to represent the seller to sell that property, which again, on the selling side is great. But you as the buyer representation in this scenario, you don't actually care if they buy this house. You're just making sure they get the best property that works for them. You have no attachment to this property where they're like, does anybody like to be sold? You don't. Right away, you like close off. You're like, even if I like this, I'm like, I don't want to, this is annoying to me right now.
But also, if your agent's good, you have a process that you follow to identify if the property's good, and then that listing agent just distracts your client. They take them over here, they try and show them something that nobody cares about. And most of the time, my clients are just like trying to be polite enough to get out the door.
Exactly.
Right? And they're not going to be like, yeah, I love this one. Yeah, I hate this one, whatever. They're just going to be like, this feels awkward. I don't know you. I just met you. I have a relationship with my agent.
Yeah.
They're the ones that I'm going to talk about. Do you think this is good or bad? So I don't know. It's a disaster, and it's such a Vancouver thing, and they just can't seem to get out of it. And I went back to the office. I was talking to a guy about it, and he was doing the same thing. He was showing property on that side of the river.
Yeah.
And he was just like, dude, they're so aggressive.
Because and now when the market's slow, they're really
so aggressive, and it's like it just doesn't work. It just doesn't.
Hey agents, you know that a clean and crisp real estate website is a must for your business. To start your free site right now, go to realtyninja.com/Tom, and you will pay absolutely nothing until your site is ready to launch. And then when you are ready to launch your brand new site, you will save 20% off your entire first year just by going to realtyninja.com/Tom. So what are you waiting for? Get a beautiful real estate website for your business right now at realtyninja.com/Tom.
Anyway, I want to play, because we're on the road.
Okay.
I want to play a road game.
A road game.
Do you know
I spy.
Do you know this road game?
No.
You have to number the things that I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Rank them 1 to 5.
Okay. Yeah.
Not knowing which one comes next.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this. Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is rank these Canadian cities starting with the letter T from 1 to 5 without knowing which one comes next.
5 is the best?
5 is the worst.
5 is the worst.
1 is the best.
Okay.
Number 1.
I didn't know if we were counting number day.
You were like 5th place. Toronto Maple Leafs are like 5th place is the best place.
Yeah.
Okay. City number 1. Rank these Canadian cities starting with the letter T.
What is
without knowing which one comes next.
The ranking scale is just purely my opinion, or is there things that I need to consider when I'm giving my answer here?
I will give you feedback if you have not heard of these cities, but you have to rank
Pick a bunch of like West Coast cities I've never.
City number 1. Speaking of cities I've never heard of. Trois-Rivières, Quebec.
Trois-Rivières. Well, initially my mind goes to Quebec, Montreal Canadiens. I despise them, and they're good this year.
That was the French.
So you despise the French at all.
Just the
Montreal Canadiens specifically. But I don't want to give it a 5 on the first go, so I'm gonna give it a 4.
You're leaving space for
for something because you just never know.
But lots of room to go up.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give it a 4.
Okay. Number 2 on the list. Terrace, British Columbia.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Have you ever heard of Terrace, British Columbia?
I have.
Okay, I will give you my opinion of Terrace, British Columbia, and then it's up to you. Okay. So Terrace is a city that goes located between Prince George and Prince Rupert. It's basically the line of where they want to end up putting the new pipeline.
You're assuming I know what those other two cities are.
So one is a port city where they want to end the new pipelines that would go out.
Okay.
And then Prince Rupert was like a big port. It's like it's the biggest, most northern city, if there is such a thing, but it's only a few 100,000 people.
Okay.
So it's a remote town on a freeway. It would be a very remote freeway. I will also tell you, I will bias you ever so slightly. It may have, in 2023, it did have BC's highest crime rate.
BC's highest crime rate?
Way higher than Surrey.
What kind of crime are we talking about? Theft or?
The crime severity index, it was number 1 out of everybody. I don't know if it was really number one, but it was top 5 for sure.
Okay, just because I've never heard of it and that the crime rate's bad, and I'm going to throw it to number 5 on the list. So we've taken our bottom 2 spots.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you because I know what the rest of the 3 are.
But I feel like you're going to trick me because immediately I'm like, okay, T. So there's going to be a Toronto, but you might even not put it
Next on the list, Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Okay, so I have family in Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Okay. I've never been.
I've done that drive before.
Where is it?
Thunder Bay is about from Toronto. I feel like it's a 13-hour drive.
Is that far?
13 to 14-hour drive.
Yeah.
Super north. And Thunder Bay, there's a big memorial for Terry Fox. I don't know if the run ended there or started there. I'm probably giving bad information right now, and I remember when we went up there when we were kids, everyone drank Lucky brand beer. I don't know if that's in Ontario.
That was most places in Canada.
You know what that? Yeah, Lucky brand beer. That rings a bell.
My home inspector, when I bought my house,
Yeah.
he didn't end up charging me.
Okay.
And then we went into his van, in the back of his van, because he had a little office set up, and he cracked a couple of Luckies. He said, "Congratulations, you're buying a good house." Okay, so Thunder Bay is 1, 2, or 3 on the list.
Yeah, because I have family there and I know a lot of really nice people from Thunder Bay, I'm going to put it at number 2.
Okay, Thunder Bay is number 2.
Yeah.
All right. So Trois Rivières, number 4. Terrace, number 5, probably rightfully so. Thunder Bay, Ontario, number 2, which leaves 1 and 3 available.
Okay.
City next on the list is Tofino, British Columbia.
I knew this was going to come up. So that's where JT vacations?
Yeah, I think it is actually. It is like the surf town of British Columbia. It's on the west side of the island.
Has he been there with Katy Perry yet?
I don't think he's been there with Katy Perry. He has been there with people he's in relationships with.
Okay, interesting.
And that has been reported by many people.
Okay. I feel like you're gonna
People
you're gonna trick me, and Toronto's not gonna be on the list. So, Tofino, I've never been to Tofino, but I've heard it's beautiful.
I've actually never been to Tofino.
It's beautiful, right?
It is the place apparently to go.
I mean, I won't.
Are you guys saving number 1? So now we have 3 and 1 is our.
Well, I'm worried that you're gonna trick me, and Toronto's not gonna be on. It's gonna be
Never
a
trying.
place that I've never heard of as the last one, and that's gonna have to go number 1. So you know what? I'm gonna go Tofino number 1 because I've heard it's beautiful.
Okay.
And if our previous commander-in-chief wants a vacation there, there's probably a reason why. It's probably nice. So I'll give him my number 1.
All right, number 1. So that leaves number 3 as I should change my answer to Toronto, but Timmins, Ontario.
I knew it. You're gonna try to screw me.
Timmins, Ontario was supposed to be number 1, and it did not get there.
See it?
So you're comfortable with your list. That's from bottom to top. Terrace, Trois Rivières, Timmins, Thunder Bay, Tofino.
I'm very happy.
All right, good. So I got just one more of these for you. There, we're gonna wait.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think about my blind rankings there. You know what? I knew you were gonna. I didn't know.
What if I put Toronto on that list and it's number 3? Is that still accurate?
No, because I'm biased to Toronto, and even though it gets a lot of crap, it's a great city, man.
All right.
It's a great
Sales pitch from the Toronto.
I don't have to give a sales pitch.
Missouri team.
The GTA is 8 million people that live.
Okay, I want to clarify.
You know what percentage of Canada lives in the GTA? A lot.
It's the whole of Canada, isn't it? I want to clarify something from last week about the Indigenous land claim stuff.
Oh yeah,
because there was some talk about
a new area.
No, not a new area. I said there was not residential within the area. There's I think there's 100 homes and they're mostly farms.
You're talking about the Richmond, BC.
The Richmond, BC land claim thing, right? So I guess the clarification is there's an area within that lawsuit that was granted Aboriginal title.
Okay.
But the claim is actually larger than that area.
I see.
So in the larger area, there is residential condos and a bunch of other stuff like newer developments and that sort of thing. But the only the part that was actually awarded to them as Aboriginal title within the lawsuit is the part that it doesn't actually have that much residential. So there's it now. It may actually start to extend,
right?
And then I saw you were showing me that there may be a land claim happening now in Ontario.
Yeah, there was this big area that I believe was Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge.
Is it like a river or something?
No, it wasn't like no, it was a huge area that they don't believe had a treaty, which covers like some massive markets.
Oh, is that the new game now where like let's find the areas that didn't have a treaty?
Exactly. Now, I don't know. I think with all these things, as you had mentioned last week, and I recognize like my education level on this is not very high.
Yeah.
But not on most things. But this
We don't have a high level on anything.
I went to university. But
For what?
I went to university.
For what?
You know, what's
For
my
beer pong?
University of Guelph, shut out. Lots of smart people that went to Guelph. Keith Roy. All right. So yeah, there was this area, and now what's going to happen, right? Is this is all going to come up, and there's going to be these new claims, and this is going to take years and years and years in the courts. And
Yeah.
I think you're right. Like, should a homeowner actually be worried that their value could go down? And I would say, even if it's like during the time that they're trying to figure out a solution, I think that will scare off buyers. Like, I honestly
With
do.
those areas?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So I think it would have a huge deterrent on potential property values, which would be really scary. And I mean, we're talking about this one kind of rural area that maybe if it extends could have some condos and residential stuff, but there wasn't that much. If we're talking about here in Ontario, the areas like Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, we're talking about like a ton of residential areas too.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things. So like, I guess now that I'm thinking about it more, what I would like to know is now, since they've done this thing where it's got like Aboriginal title over this one section of the Cowichan thing, and then the claim is actually larger, will they then go back to court? Like, first of all, the first section's being appealed.
Yeah, that's still.
But will they go back to court the second time to try and get the boundaries extended larger to the second piece of which is the whole claim? Like, nobody's talked about why they only got that one section. If I can figure it out, I'll put the map.
Like, even
The one we were looking at was like the black line was like,
Yeah.
this is Aboriginal title now. And the green line is like, oh, look, the CN Tower. No, okay, don't do that. There's water towers in Ontario everywhere.
no, this
They're all over the place. And I joke and call them the CN Tower.
I
They're
don't know.
all over.
They're-
We don't have water towers in.
These land claims will continue to happen. You'll continue, like, it's like when a big lawsuit is won for anything, then there's always a bunch of copycat lawsuits.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, they've set precedent that we'll see what happens after this 18 months of negotiation and how much money is paid out. Because I think you're right. Are we actually thinking the land is given back? Like it or not,
Yeah.
it's money that's being paid, right? So,
They want to negotiate.
but this is going to be tied up for years and years and years. And
Like, I don't think in the Cowichan case, I don't think they want to reconstruct a fishing village to go fishing every year. Well, they have easier, better places to already go fishing.
right.
Right? They don't need necessarily that. It's a historical land claim, which makes sense. But what does this guy got going on here? That doesn't look good.
So
The road.
we haven't brought this up in a little while, but what are you looking at?
That trailer just about fell off of the line of the truck.
This episode of the Tom Storey Show is brought to you by Carson Dunlop. Real estate agents, you spend months, if not years, earning your clients' trust. You don't want to lose it on inspection day. For over 45 years, top agents across Canada have relied on Carson Dunlop for home inspections that are clear, calm, and client first. Their inspections don't just find issues, they know how to explain them in a way that will protect your client and your credibility. If you haven't worked with Carson Dunlop yet, now is the time to find out why Canada's best trust Carson Dunlop for home inspections. You can learn more at carsondunlop.com. I will also tell you, in the Toronto real estate market, whenever I see a pre-home inspection by Carson Dunlop, I know my buyers can trust it. And Carson Dunlop is a company we've used so many times over the years for our buyers and sellers. carsondunlop.com. And now, back to the podcast.
Anyway, sorry.
You know, when I was I with you? No, I wasn't with you. Years ago for the same conference, but in Vancouver. After the conference, I drove up to Whistler and I rented a convertible, and we were driving in Whistler, like up a hill or something, and a car from the other side, the tire literally popped off and was bouncing down the road, but I could see it.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. But I know you got topics, but I want to bring this up because we haven't really touched on this in a while. We had covered the iPro Realty scandal here in Ontario that got them shut down, $10 million taken out of the trust account. Terrible stuff. Still kind of going on.
We have a mini version of that now in BC as well.
I heard about that. So some account just got frozen, which should have been, by the way, what should have happened from step one with the iPro thing.
Yeah.
Is this a big brokerage in your market, or is it like...
It used to be. So what happened, I think, is the owner owned like 3 different brokerages, and he was in the process, it sounds like, of maybe wrapping one up and transferring the funds to the other one and consolidating the brokerages. Then he maybe kind of took it out of the trust account, put it in the operating account, and needed to pay some bills. So it sounds like a much, much smaller thing. And immediately when the BCFSA got a hold of it, everything was frozen.
Yeah.
Licenses were removed. Like everything stopped hard. And it was like, check your record, see if you have any. But it was 3 different brokerages now because it was one guy that owned 3 different brokerages. So it was just like shut it down, check, see what happens. Now, thankfully, like day of, I had my administrator go through all our deals, and we don't have any deals with these guys, right?
So
Thankfully.
going back to the iPro thing is there was so RICO, which is like our governing body, but it is, I guess, self-regulated. Like,
Yeah, we used to have that.
you know, so I don't think we approve was on the board or anything. But anyways, I'm not involved in all that. But
Doesn't know how organized real estate works.
well, I'm kind of focused on selling properties, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So that in a council, at least British Columbia's council, you had elected directors.
Got it.
And then the council ran that way. So they were a regulator, but they were generally self-regulated. And when people hear self-regulated, they think
That.
a bunch of,
Yeah.
people just trying to do underhanded deals with their buddies. And it's like, it doesn't work that way. The people that are in...
Well, if you read the report for this iPro thing, you might think...
I don't understand that, though. Like, how the fact that...
So here's what this is where we are, like the fast forward to today. That's still being worked out. Still a lot of agents like aren't getting paid commissions on deals. I don't think the public really cares about that. But for agents, that's like, you're just told you're not getting paid for the job you did, right?
Yeah.
But then what happened is they had a third party review everything that went down with RICO and iPro. And I'm blanking on the name. It starts with a D. It might be Dennison. Maybe I'm saying it incorrectly, but this was a confidential report. But then one of the ministers came out and said, release this report now to everybody, and you have 15 days to respond.
Minister, like a member of the Ontario.
Yeah.
Okay.
Came out and said, like, you have to release this, and we are recommending that we take over your regulation. So by the time this episode comes out, there could be more things that have happened. But I read through this. I also ran the report through ChatGPT just to kind of tell me like key dates and stuff. And the main guy that initially got let go right away, from when iPro emailed them to say, hey, there's $10 million missing, we're telling you this now, there was a deal basically sent to them or agree with them within 21 minutes. That doesn't add up. That's not good.
So wait, the 21 minutes was...
The response to the initial email saying, we're not going to take this to like the legal side of things with Ontario.
Was that at the beginning of the 3 months or the end of the 3 months?
That was at the beginning. But then what the issue that a lot of people have is that there was nothing talked about. No one was told publicly. Deals were still happening. Money was going into that trust account.
Crazy.
For that period of time. And to sum everything up, and this report's out there. Everyone that's watching this can go check it out. You can find it online. It's everywhere now. Basically, it's just saying there was one guy in charge making the decisions. Everyone else was worried about telling him what he was doing was the wrong thing to do.
At RICO or the guy that that's stealing the money?
The register at RICO. The stealing the money is obviously terrible. It's more terrible, right? Well, it's all terrible.
Everybody you think within the organization was too scared to tell their boss this.
That's kind of what, if you read the report, that's what it is suggesting.
Wow.
So they're basically like, you have this many days to respond, and what we're recommending is that you allow us to take over your regulation, or someone from the government. I don't know how this all works, but this is just what happened. Remember when this iPro story first came out? I texted you. I was like, this is step one. I guarantee.
Yeah, it's the first thing. You sent me the story and you said self-regulation is gone in Ontario. But here's a funny thing about your take on how that may or may not have happened. I would say the regulator in BC is also too chicken shit to tell their boss
Right.
how bad they're doing. Because I know through third parties and through people who, a guy who knows a guy who is very involved in all of this stuff.
Friend of the show.
Some friends of the show. I know a lot of people in Organized Real Estate because
I know a lot of them watch this show.
and they do watch them for sure. But particularly, you've got people at every level in the Lower Mainland. I'm not going to call out which boards and where they sit, or even at all levels. And my understanding is the BC regulator understands that the regulation in BC is ridiculous.
That there's too much.
But there's no, think about it. If you're the BCFSA, if you're the regulator and the government says do this, you can't not do it. And they're like, but that's stupid. And the government's like, well, it plays well politically.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's really tough because then it's also adversarial to the industry. It's a really big problem.
What I found interesting from this RICO thing and the iPro scandal is that I've never had any of our buyer clients or our sellers be like, hey, is there any issue with putting the money in your company's trust? Like, it's not that they don't care. People care, and people on the internet are going to be louder about it because we're talking about it, other people are talking about it. But I haven't had it come up, like when there was that big lawsuit in the States about the buyer commission, I had people from everywhere sending me that report and saying, what's this going to do? Is this going to Canada? So many people were asking questions.
Nobody's asking.
No one's asking me about this. I think buyers, and maybe you tell us, like, do you even care about this? Do you care that we're talking about this? Would you rather just know that prices are changing and what's going on with the market? Or do you care about the overall, like, industry and the regulation?
Well, it's funny because there's a bunch of people, now since this happened, it's only going to be a trust account with the lawyer. The lawyer could do the same thing.
There's been just as many examples.
There's just as many lawyers that are like, we're out. My money's not working out here. I'm going to start pulling this money out of my trust account, right? If you got a criminal, you got a criminal. There's just no getting around that.
It's the whole thing's concerning, and I think it's good that our industry is going to have a shakeup because of it.
Yeah.
The market's already had a shakeup. Now we're going to shake up on the other side of things. And there was last week a joined statement that came out from Toronto Real Estate Board and OREA. We've interviewed many people from OREA over the year. Toronto Real Estate Board they don't want to say yes to come on shows. But they put out a statement agreeing with everything the Member of Parliament said, saying, we think this should happen.
Really? Well, you're going to be a pretty tough place where you're like, well, there was $10 million stolen, and I think we should just keep doing it the same way.
It's also RICO, forever, how long they've been around, they're basically in control of giving out fines and suspensions and banning realtors for doing bad things. So they played a very big role. And also given out so basically they've been the police. So what happens when the police do something that's not like they've been the one giving out the fines, and now they thought they could just push this one on the table. And again, I don't want to I've been so focused on I'm a real estate agent that sells homes. I'm not in organized real estate. I respect the people that do it and they spend their time there. I'm just not as interested. But there's obviously, this is a big issue. So. But we could probably wrap it up from that topic. Let's move.
Well, next up, you're going to rate these 5
spicy chicken sandwiches.
Can we get a spicy chicken sandwich?
No, but I could tell you my list.
There's a Tim Hortons shocker. There's just a Tim Hortons in Ontario.
There's a Wendy's, Tim Hortons, right? They would be on the list, probably 3 or 4.
That's a Tim Hortons and a Starbucks.
Not together, but there are 2 that they're
crazy. Okay, rate or rank these 5 downtown Toronto neighborhoods from 1 to 5 without knowing which one comes next.
Oh, I like this. Okay.
All right. Keep in mind, as my disclaimer, I have no idea if these are real neighborhoods.
You pulled this out of ChatGPT. You have no idea. Well, just
a version of, but according to Google Maps, this is a real neighborhood.
Okay.
Harborfront.
Okay, so Harborfront would just basically be properties close to the water.
It looked like that Garner thing towards the water.
So I'm going to rank Harborfront it's between 2 and 3.
Oh, so it's good.
It's good. Harborfront's great.
Okay.
So you get a mix of the older condos that have really good floor plans, and you get, if you want a water view, which even in this slower market has been selling pretty quick, you're going to want to consider the waterfront. but it gets really cold down there in the winter.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna
So
rank
it's
it.
good, but not that good.
I really like it. I have no issues with it. We have a ton of clients down there. But it's a little bit far away from the restaurants. Like it's not quite in the action, even though it's like right downtown. I'm gonna go 3 for Harbourfront.
Okay, 3 for our. I don't have a pen, so I'm gonna have to.
I'll remember.
Does it have a pen? I do not have a pen. Realtor without a pen. Can you believe it? Second on my list of what you're gonna rank, not 3 now.
Okay.
Cityfront. Or sorry, City Place.
City Place.
I'm not from Toronto.
I'm gonna get.
Let's try that again so the short guy can.
And you're gonna get me in trouble.
Okay, second on my list, City Place.
This is tough because City Place gets so much crap. And I think some is deserved and a lot is not. And I've said many times that City Place is the Nickelback of condo communities.
Everybody's
It's cool. It's cool to pretend you hate it. Yeah, but if the song comes on the radio, you're like, all right, I'm jamming to this. Just kind of knowing what probably the internet gave you. I'm going to say 5 just because I think the overall thing that they've done could have been better, but it's not necessarily their fault because we got to this investor market. Fine, I'll go 5.
Okay, City Place number 5. I will tell you, I did not just ask ChatGPT to keep this to me. I asked for neighborhoods because I don't know them all.
Sure.
And then I verified them with Google Maps to see if they're an actual neighborhood according to Google Maps. So that's how I came up with these.
Got it. Okay, we got 3 and 5. Take it.
3 and 5 are taken. Next up on the list, the Distillery District.
Okay, so there's 3 main condos you can buy there. There's 2 new ones being built, and then
There's only 3 condos in it.
there's 3 main high-rise condos that are completed right now. There's 2 new ones being built, and then there's 3 to 5 older ones that better value, but you're not going to get the views. And then Distillery is amazing for food, and they have the Christmas market and everything else, but it's also cobblestone. So if you're going on a date night, you don't want to wear
You don't want to wear your high heels?
I don't know where my funeral's civil on date night. Pushing a stroller, it's good.
But that's what makes it nice.
I love.
It's all cobblestone.
I'm gonna put Distillery number 2. We've sold a lot there. I really enjoy the area. It's still very much like before the house I live in now. I used to own a townhouse that was not very far from Distillery.
Okay.
And the fact that I could walk to St. Lawrence Market and walk to the Leafs game and walk downtown, it was like centrally located, but it's east of Yonge Street. Yeah, it's number. Yeah, I would go number 2.
Next up, Corktown.
So Corktown is a little bit more. It's still east, but it's more northeast kind of from downtown.
I have 1 and 4 available.
Corktown. I'm gonna go 4 for Corktown.
No reason?
No, I just feel
I wish City Place was 4 now.
no Corktown. Corktown doesn't have that many condos though. It's mostly like older homes.
Okay.
No, I'm okay with number 4.
Okay, so that means you're leaving number 1 again for the last, which is according to Tom Storey, the Fashion District.
The Fashion District. So that would be King West.
Okay.
That's what the Fashion District is. I'm okay with that answer. I think if you look at like the real King West, in my opinion, is Spadina to Bathurst, and from King Street to like.
I think ChatGPT told me it was Spadina and King or something like that.
Yeah, so Spadina and King would be like the main intersection, but I think King West goes all the way to Bathurst.
Okay.
And then if you go more the other way, it'd be more the entertainment district. I like King West because you get a mix of high-rise buildings, a lot of really cool lofts, great restaurants, still close to all the action. And if you are young and fun and you go out to bars and clubs and stuff, all that stuff is there for you. I'm okay with that being number 1.
There you go. Now you heard it here from the downtown master himself.
There you go. There you go. Let us know what you guys think with my my blind ranking for downtown neighborhoods.
I can't believe, I thought you were going to like City Place it a little higher just because all the internet hates so hard for City Place.
There's probably.
Also, what's the difference between City Place and Harbourfront? Are they the same area?
No, I would say City Place stops at Lakeshore, and then Harbourfront would be past Lakeshore to the water, at least in my opinion.
There you go.
I don't know. I just think like there's a few buildings we don't recommend in City Place, and we've always been very clear about that to our clients.
Why?
Because it was during the time frame that it was like 100% of these buildings were sold to investors initially.
Yeah.
Airbnb was very much a thing that was happening for a long time. The quality
Is the neighborhood bad or the building itself is bad?
I don't think the neighborhood's bad at all. I think it's primely located. Like it's,
But neighborhood not being bad, neighborhood being like, oh, I've got all these scrappy kind of synths around me that aren't caring about stuff. So, and their dog crap on the sidewalk and not picking it up.
the tenant part I have no problem with. How I've been explaining it to people these days is if you buy in a building that is mostly owned by investors, when the market changes, investors are more quick to react to sell their properties, right? So you will just always have, like, if interest rates go up again or things change,
Lots of competition.
tons of competition in a building. So where, owners won't love that prices go down, but if it's the place they actually live in, they're not as quick to react and sell the thing, or if their tenant gives notice, they're going to sell it. So I've always just preferred buildings that aren't like that
Yeah.
because they sell faster. And so for the beginning of the podcast today, that building is an owner-occupied building. Another one that I think we're going to offer on soon. And then we have that loft that is going crazy right now. I think we're at 25 showings in 3 days. See, very much owner-occupied.
For us, when we're talking about like good building, bad building, it's usually the construction of the building, or if the building has a big problem, like the insurance is. So we've got this issue in BC where insuring is very difficult and expensive. And then if the building's insurance isn't in line, you hopefully can not top up, but you can have your homeowner policy go on top of it. But then your homeowner policy gets extremely expensive, like $2,500 a year.
Wow.
Just for like liability insurance, that sort of thing. So that's really what makes the high rises in my market now, that the downtown Surrey area, some of them are, it's actually this phenomenon that's happened where
Because of insurance.
they open up, they get, like you say, all tenanted in the beginning. And then on like the 35th floor, for some reason, some tenant floods the whole side of the building and overflows something or whatever. There was one story of one I had a listing in where some lady that was addicted to whatever got into the building, went to the top floor fire escape thing where the fire hose is, stripped down naked with her dog, turned on the fire hose full blast, and proceeded to flood the entire building. Guess what? Insurance ain't great in that area. So it was like $4,500 a year for each individual owner in that building. Other than that, the building's great.
Yeah. See, like, my opinions are not insurance based because we don't have the same issues in Toronto.
Why do we get so screwed in BC?
I'm not. Yeah. DC does seem to get the most screwed on
everything.
Gas is more expensive. You see,
So how much is gas around here?
inflation. Well, we see a station. We'll let you guys know. But
We were at 159.
the main reason why inflation, I think it was at 2.2. The last report that came out, 2.4 the month before. The only difference was gas came down. So
Can I tell you my scam story of WestJet? I know I talked about this a little bit last week, but so Tom Storey is like, just everybody here, Tom Storey is like I'm not sure if he's the devil or the angel sitting on your shoulder, right? So I booked a flight out, and it was like $380 for a flight one way with WestJet. And then they were like, they send you that notification. Would you like to bid
yeah, bid on the upgrade.
on the upgrade? And I was like, Tom, I think I might bid on the upgrade. And Tom's like, just buy it. Don't even bid on it. Just buy it. So I bid on it. It was like, I put in a bid for $200.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what?
And what was the buy now price, just to get it?
It was more than that.
Well, of course.
It was probably 4.
Okay.
So then I put in the bid. 5 minutes, 10 minutes after I put in the bid, I get an email that says, you are not the highest bid. Would you like to increase your bid?
For tenant, landlord, or homeowner insurance policies, go to squareone.ca/the Tom Storey Show. Use the link in the description. Save $20 when you start your free quote right now.
And I was like,
Sounds like final offer.
I'm not listening to Tom Storey. Totally. I'm not listening to Tom Storey anymore. I'm just going to pay the $380 and whatever. I don't need to pay the extra and get the meal and the unlimited drinks, which it sounds like a pretty good idea. By the way, being at the front of the plane is worth every penny.
I know
it is worth every penny. Anyway, but I've never done it. Like I did it for last year for the first time. So anyway, I get this email. I'm like, I'll ignore it. I didn't win it. Fine. Half an hour after that, you've been upgraded.
Okay.
So they sent me out like a false, like, hey, you're not going to get this. You want to pay more? And then later on, they're like, you're upgraded. And then when I woke up, I got the bing, you're delayed 5.5 hours. So,
Input on Air Canada.
and so I had to cancel it. And then they didn't give me back the 200.
What?
They have not given me back the 200.
They have to.
I have to wait 30 days and then apply for the 200 back.
So stupid. But
So, but it's no better on the other ones anyway.
I'm
It's
not
just-
saying it's better.
and then I got to the airport, and then Darren, who was on the earlier flight, was delayed 3.5 hours with Air Canada. So I think, what are you going to do here?
Here, you got 2 airlines.
You got these 2 airlines. Trump was right. We need Delta in this country. Just don't bring in American or...
Yeah, during that initial, like when he first got in office, he made a few statements about Canada that I'm like, don't love most of what he's saying, but interesting.
But Tyson sounds pretty good.
Why do we only have 2 airlines? Why do we only have 5 or 6 banks? Why is that? Why is there not more competition? Why do we love monopolies?
We don't... duopolies. It's not a...
Oh, okay.
It's like the American government, right? You don't have a dictatorship. They have a dictatorship plus 1.
Ah, yes.
Right? They have 2-party system. It's terrible. All right, have we covered everything we need to cover?
I don't know.
I got rates.
Sorry, bro.
I was going to talk more about rates.
I think rates are done.
Dude, they're looking pretty good out there.
They're looking good, but this episode,
Inflation came out.
yeah, we just talked about it. 2.5%.
Yeah. So
Or sorry, 2.2.
2.2%. So now there's an argument.
They'll hold. I think they're done.
I think they're done too.
I think they're done. I don't think.
But now will the difference in the premium on like prime minus or whatever, will that start playing with in order to get the housing market to...
Well, I was telling you, like, I think we talked about it last week. I had a client that just got just above a 3.5% variable. That number moves the market. It doesn't accelerate it, but in an end user driven market, a 3.5% rate, and like
You're going to see demand come back at any rate lower than 349.
I've already seen it, like in my not prices, but how many times I probably said this 5 times now. I think sales, and I can only talk about the city of Toronto because it's what I work in. Sales have bottomed. I don't think it's going to get much worse for sales volume.
Heard it here first.
I don't think,
Tom Storey just called. What day is it? What time is it? Mark it on the calendar. Tom Storey has called the bottom of the market.
I have not. I've called that I think sales volume has bottomed. And I think prices could still go a little bit more depending on what it is. But I just think like people are making decisions again. And although we have a lot of inventory, a lot of it is crap.
Yeah.
And the crap stuff isn't selling, and the move-in ready nice stuff.
Do you think when they start building again, they're going to start building this crap again? Like they
start
building the
they have a choice.
400 square foot units with no parking?
No, I think they will build what the market demands. And if the market's buying those units,
So what do you think the market will demand when the market picks up again?
I don't know. It depends, because unless I don't even know if I want to talk about this again, because it's just like, unless the system changes, they're not going to get construction financing if they don't sell out 70% of the building. What first-time home buyer, what end user is going to wait 5 years?
Yeah.
Who's going to do that? So I really don't know. And that's why I'm a bit worried about the future of construction, because no one's going to buy if they have to wait that long other than the investors. And are the prices at a point with the interest rates that the developer even want to sell to get stuff off the ground? I don't really know. So yeah, I think we're in for a really, really interesting next 5 years. We have more than enough current inventory for condos.
Yeah.
We have just enough homes right now, but that will eventually kind of work itself out. But of the condo market, I think there's probably 25% of currently what's for sale that are in buildings or locations we'd ever even recommend.
But it's just condos though, right? Because we don't have that. Being out in the burbs, you've got so many like stratified townhouses, and the developers can build those and then sell them over years.
The developers could do that here too. They choose not to
But not enough 50-story.
well, that's the thing. They're just not willing to take that risk.
Do you guys? Why don't you have like everywhere around here? I'm not seeing like just swaths of stratified or townhouses, like condo townhouses.
We have some.
But they're just everywhere where we are.
I would assume that if they're going to give you the height to build up, why would you build townhouses when you could build on a much smaller lot, way more units?
It's just crazy that when I hear anybody from Toronto say, there's no more land to build on, and I'm like,
If you take a look at this drive too, there's such much land to build on here.
the fact that you have 100-year-old houses, 50-year-old houses just sitting here in Surrey, anything older than 1980s torn down.
Yeah, that's on.
And rebuilt into 5,700 square feet.
Well,
It's just not a thing out here.
yeah, I don't know. I think we're going through a really interesting moment in time here in the city of Toronto for what's happened with real estate. And I get I'm a real estate agent, but I'm not betting against this city long term. I think everything's here. All the sports, all the concerts, all the fashion, all the food, all the design.
Yeah.
Everyone comes to Toronto to do the thing.
I hate to admit it, but when you're in downtown Toronto, it's awesome. When you are where we are right now, it is not awesome. This is...
But just a different lifestyle.
There's trains and parking lots and 2-story buildings and
There is, but if you look even like the direct neighborhoods beside the downtown core, which on the east would be like Leslieville, Riverdale, Beaches, East York, and then you go, more north, you get the like Summerhill and Rosedale, which are beautiful and expensive, and then the west you got High Park, Ronseal. Great neighborhoods, right? From the downtown core, if Yonge Street's the center of the city, and we're gonna talk like Yonge and King, like right in the middle, for how close you can get a property from a city the size of Toronto, like a freehold house in all these locations, is why the prices are what they are.
how long's Olivia Chow in for?
I think another year.
She only had a year, 2 years, 3 years now?
You know, and I don't know, but I think like Brad Bradford came out and said he's running for mayor. He's a guy I'd like to get on the show.
I don't know what that is.
I think he'd be a really good guest, and he's like, he'll go and actually like he'll say what's on his mind. I think I like the way he handles himself. So he's going to be one of her competitors. I'm assuming she's going to run for re-election. There's talk that John Tory could come back and run again.
He's the dude with the girlfriend or whatever.
Well, that's an oversimplification, but that was the reason that he stepped down, even though I think most people in Toronto would have been right.
So right, you slept with somebody. Who cares? It's like, whatever. That stuff happens. How's the city? Now you get a lady in there, you don't know who she's sleeping with, doesn't really matter either, but she's screwing up the city. Bring me back the dude that's like having a good time.
I think probably most people that listen to this would agree with that statement.
Really?
Like literally would know what you're saying. Yeah, I think
If you're from Toronto, because I don't know the difference of them all.
I think they would. Toronto, but the city of Toronto is a liberal place. Like just based on voting.
Not well, it's Liberal Party, but it's also
It's a
I mean, that's going to be the same everywhere where you're in a city.
It seems like all cities lean left on their voting habits, and then going very left with what the new mayor of New York, like socialism.
Well, you see, was it Seattle or Portland that elected a mayor who lives at home off the parents?
That's kind of funny. That's pretty funny.
Like some Popeyes. We had a Popeyes chicken sandwich.
You want my Popeye sandwich rankings?
Tom Storey, without knowing which one comes next,
I just tell you.
here are the top. Hang on, I'm going to pretend I have a list. Okay, no, just rank them then.
Okay,
Can't do that.
I think Popeyes is 3.
Oh, how dare you!
I think Wendy's spicy chicken is 2. I think Chick-fil-A is the best.
Oh,
I do.
So upside down.
No.
Popeye's hot chicken sandwich with pickles is the best chicken sandwich on the market right now.
I think Chick-fil-A is better.
Chick-fil-A is nothing. I went to Chick-fil-A.
It's maybe because I haven't eaten Chick-fil-A very much, but the 1 or 2 times I've had it,
Chick-fil-A is like-
that was good.
It's like, to me, it's like In-N-Out Burger. Everybody's like, it's the best. I'm like, it's fine.
Well, it's the best if you've tried it once. Like I've had In-N-Out once when where do they have In-N-Out?
Biggest underrated.
Vegas? That's not right?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Underrated burger, just like cheeseburger, hamburger, Dairy Queen. And not expensive.
Yeah, I've never been a Dairy Queen.
I was never either until I was desperate for a burger one day on the way home from a long trip.
You're on a clean eating habit.
While it goes.
No more burgers.
Was gonna crack the eggs and then we can have smell a bit.
Yeah, I don't want to eat your hard-boiled eggs.
Disgusting. Okay, number one for sure is Popeye's chicken.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love a spicy chicken from Wendy's, but it's just a different level. Chick-fil-A is fine, but it's like American, so it can't be on the list. I'm elbows up.
I think everyone.
Going elbows up. You saw that picture of me? I showed you that baby picture.
Yeah. Actually, is there a way to edit this in? Are you gonna
I edit in my baby picture of baby and elbows
showed
up.
me this picture of himself when he must have been what, 2 or 3?
Yeah.
And there's a truck behind me, so I'm not gonna take my hands off the wheel. But I was flexing.
But when elbows up,
It's a baby.
When babies flex, they don't flex this way. They flex this way. And so Tom was like, you were full elbows up from a young age. Anyway, I'll see if I can put it in right here.
I thought it was great.
And if it's not in, it's not in.
Are you before we wrap up this episode, I'd like to know, so Steve's in town because we're going to a conference for the next 2 or 3 days. Are you trying to learn anything? I know there's a few economists speaking. I think Ben Tal's speaking. A few other things that are going on there. Is there anything like that you think that you want to take back to make your client's life easier for your own business, or just figuring out things? I know the conference is going to be like, I'm speaking on a panel tomorrow about AI.
Yeah.
And that's just like a lot of these conferences people want to talk about these days. But I think at the end of the day, any business owner, AI is not going to save you. It's going to help your day become a little bit easier. But your relationship with your
you like that meme? Oh wow, that's really cool about that AI stuff, eh? Yeah. Want to go get drunk? Yeah. All right, that's a real estate conference.
But
What do I want to take away from this? That's good.
before you answer that, think about that. I was at an event
Don't have an answer, so I'm going to continue to
2 weeks ago, and I found this really interesting. So there was a guy that was presenting on this new like fintech company that he had, or prop tech company that he had, and he had run another company that actually did pretty well and took over some market share, and it was kind of like a discount model company in a strong market. And when the market flipped, as you probably noticed, like all of the I always have to be careful with my words on this because like I don't want to make statements of it because I'm not. No, their model doesn't work.
They're business models that usually go off of volume rather than
volume models, low fee, low service models have pretty much been wiped out in the city of Toronto because sellers want to hire someone that get the job done, not just be the cheapest option. I found that in my own business. And this guy used to run a company that was like that. He made this statement that caught me off guard. He said, there's no amount of money that the tech industry can pump into the real estate market that will get in between you and your relationship with your client. Yeah. And I was like, wow, I've never heard someone from that side actually admit that. Because he's like, these companies, the tech people coming in, looking at the overall pie of maybe commissions that are available or what's going on in the market, they all want a piece of it, but they're tech people. They're not relationship people. They're
trying to scale out a piece of the commissions. They're not trying to change the way the industry works.
So I found that very interesting because he basically admitted like there's no amount of money that's going to change, I think, how it works. However, in hot market conditions where everything's moving no matter what, there will be a certain amount of company that can survive during that, and then they go under once things slow down. So I didn't think he'd admit it, but I was like, yeah, I mean, that's what we see all the time.
Yeah.
So there you go. Fulfill your answer yet?
No, because I don't feel like, well, one, I've been focusing a lot on the presentation I'm going to give.
Well, yeah. Are you nervous?
No, but I will be before you get on stage. Before you stand on stage in front of 1,000 people, there's always like something.
And then you hear us here.
Then you're yeah. Maybe we should go get some beta blockers and see if I can
take a shot of tequila before you go on stage.
All right, deal. So I've been focusing a lot on like how do I deliver that. But as far as normally what I do is I sit there with my notepad and I just wait for that one thing to click. And then when I go to these things, I just try and take back one thing because the biggest mistake in a real estate business is to try and add too much in all at once.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like I've been there so long with a coaching company, as you know, that I feel like most of my business is fairly fine-tuned. There is changes I'm making next year. I don't know if they'll be affected by like this type of a thing.
Sure.
But just, I mean, what could I do differently in my business right now is, you know, hopefully get more business and more leads is one thing. Hire more people, which is great.
Yeah.
But I can't say what I have been underwhelmed with is how there hasn't been the way agents are going to use AI yet to actually do things better in a constructed,
I agree with you.
whatever that looks like, right? Like I use AI every day, but not to replace what I do.
My problem with all the Fixer.ai, I use in my email. I love it. I think it's great. I use Whisperflow. All these things that make my day easier to send messages and clean up, because like email is my arch nemesis. I hate it. I wish there's never invented. The amount of time in my day spent in my email is like insane.
Is this a skigo in Ontario? Where like you can see where we were.
No, this is not a skier.
Okay, it's like we're 40 feet up in the air.
But I find the direction that it's going, at least for the real estate industry, is like there's the cool things it can do, and then there's the actual productive things that it could actually do. And maybe with like deal processing or writing offers faster, or things that could help the actual client. But right now, everything that's being like told to me is like, hey, use this AI version of yourself and it'll make it look like you, and you can write a script and you can put out 10 times the amount of videos. I'm like,
yeah.
First of
what
all,
I'm worried about though, if they're going to do things like where I think there's actual massive possibilities for AI is in things like contract writing.
Agreed.
And that's going to be a problem, I think, for agents in some way, because they're not going to have the skill or the knowledge to understand how to write a contract. So they're going to lose that muscle.
There's a lot of muscles that you're going to lose because of AI.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I think there's definitely, we're going to atrophy a lot of what we got going on because we're going to rely on AI so heavily.
Because between like HeyGen for your avatar and like 11 Labs for your voice, so when you put those together now, you know, this whole podcast is not too far away from like if we wrote it, we don't have to write the script. AI writes a script, and we could put out a show, and like some people would know it wasn't us, and some people wouldn't.
Yeah,
I just don't know. Like
parents wouldn't.
There's a lot of people that would have no idea, and I don't know. But have you heard the term AI slop? Have you heard that?
No.
So it's basically like everyone's relying so much on AI that they're not even looking at what they're posting or putting out there. It's just sloppy. It's like. So a lot of people are saying like now more than ever, especially for listings, because every listing is being virtually staged, or you're changing the sky in the photo, or you're doing this or that. And it's like more than ever, you got to go see the home in person.
Yeah.
You cannot rely. And there's rules with our real estate board now where they're limiting things that you could do to change the photos, which I think is a good thing. But there's going to be a lot of stuff that like, you're looking at it, and this is like like renderings for projects or houses.
I hate that when I see like why is that like house so cheap? And I'm like, oh wait a minute, that's the rendering of what could be built there, and it's got like a wartime bungalow on it, and I'm like, get out of here. You go from being like ooh to like overpriced, get gone.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'd love to know from the people watching, how are you using AI in your life? Like, is ChatGPT just becoming your new Google? Like you ask it when you're watching a show, you're like, what other thing was that actor in? Or how old is this celebrity? Like, is that what you're using it for? Or are you actually using it to be productive in your work? I know a lot of like bigger companies, they're forced to use Microsoft Copilot because it's more secure.
Yeah. We were in the car the other day. I was bringing my kids home and they had a question about something. And so I was like, well, why don't we ask ChatGPT? So I went on the voice and I had like a full conversation with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And my kids' jaws were on the floor. They were like, first of all, this is weird, but you're talking to a robot. And I was like, kids, you live in the future. And you know what? I said, that's crazy because that's literally computer from Star Trek. Yeah. Like the Next Generation.
Yep.
And you're talking to it. And then I said, you know what? It's not the computer from Star Trek because they don't know what Star Trek is. I'm like, that's 3CPO. He just doesn't have a body yet.
I think you got to remember what the A stands for in AI. Artificial.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind.
What's coming? Is it artificial if it's got a body? I don't know. I mean, we're going to a real estate conference, so there's going to be a lot of artificial intelligence. Okay, we're too comfortable talking on camera now. We should probably wrap this up.
We'll wrap this up. I am curious to see at the event this week.
Best French fries.
What?
Best French fries.
McDonald's. I am interested to see at the event this week because this has been statistically speaking the hardest year ever. I want to see if people are like positive, if they're negative, how they're feeling. I also like
Toms or are they Steve's?
Are they? I still tell you, people come up to me all the time. They're like, I listen to the show. I want to be a Tom, but I'm a Steve. I'm like, I get it. I want to be a Steve too sometimes. Well, there you go. That wraps up this week's episode, this car podcast. Hopefully this worked. Hopefully the audio is good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Steve's in town, so we got to do something a little bit different, right? That's it. Anything else to wrap it up, Steve?
I hope I remember to edit in when I said I was going to edit in.
The photo of the land claim area. Elbows up. Baby Steve, elbows up.
All right. Let's see if you can hold your bye again for 10.
Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye.